ACC play, and a lot on the line for today's game between the Tigers and the Mustangs as we are underway here in Dallas. And Andrea, Clemson right now 10th in the ACC standings, one spot out of a conference bye at this point.
Right now, Clemson really looking to build on that momentum that they got after that win at Georgia Tech.
And the Tigers with the first bucket of the contest as we get a look at the starting five. Tessa Miller coming off an absolutely huge game in the upset over Georgia Tech.
And for Clemson, they're looking to run the table, and SMU would like nothing more than to not allow them to do that here at home today. They too are playing for something. They'd like to get out of the bottom and make it to the SEC tournament. Only the top 15 teams, ACC tournament, only the top 15 teams go.
Well, the player you saw there was Jessica Peterson, one of the best rebounders in the nation, 12.5 per contest. And she helps put the hometown Mustangs up 4-0 early. The feed down low, and there is a turnover by Clemson. So for this SMU game, it is their Play for K game. They are in white today with pink lettering. Clemson in the purple uniforms. Nya Jones working it over in the corner, and that one is drilled by one of the best scorers in the nation, Nya Robertson.
And that's exactly what she can do in the quarter court situation. She's deadly from three. She's great in transition. She is built to score.
Robertson averaging 19 points per contest. She's taken more field goals than anybody in the country, and Clemson now has their first bucket of the contest thanks to Tessa Miller.
Tessa Miller really playing well as of late. She has been stable on the interior for Clemson, who doesn't have a lot of size, just 6'2" on the interior, but she has to hold down the fort, knocks down that 15-footer.
There's Robertson. She can get hot in a hurry.
And blowing kisses to the crowd. This is a young lady that is electric out there when she gets going.
Transfer from George Washington. She's currently top 30 in the nation in scoring.
And she takes more shots than anybody in the nation.
With the answer is Summah Evans, who has worked her way into the starting lineup over the past few weeks. For Clemson team is now getting hot. They've beaten 2 ranked teams this year in Sean Poppy's first season as head coach. There's Nya Jones, pull-up jumper over Miller. Tessa Miller with the board. Number 1 for Clemson, Loyal McQueen, the grad transfer out of Alabama, one of the best passers in the ACC. But meanwhile, here's Summah Evans finding McQueen.
Done a good job guarding the three-point shooting. One of the things Clemson does well is shoot the 3 ball, and then they're able to open things up for that kind of drive.
McQueen among the ACC leaders in assists, averaging 5 per contest. Here is Jessica Robertson, relentless rebounder and a heck of a scorer as well. Comes up short. Jessica Peterson, the senior. And a whistle is called. There is Sean Poppy coming over from Chattanooga, where 2 years ago he was named the National Rookie Coach of the Year after leading Chattanooga to an NCAA tournament berth, one of the rising stars in this game, Andrea.
Yeah, he is such a great coach and also human being, is really a great hire for Clemson. And it's taken a while, but they're figuring out how to build culture there. That's one of the biggest jobs as a new head coach. Shot clock at 10.
Nia Moore has been battling injuries at about 75% right now, denied as she went towards the rim. And there was that presence in the paint, number 35 for SMU, Jessica Peterson. She's one of just 2 players in the nation with 2 20-rebound games. And how about the defense there as well?
Yeah, she does a great job coming off of that screen on the ball in a help position, able to contest, be a rim protector. Really important for her to do. Also is play a lot of minutes here for SMU, who's had injuries.
Peterson and Robertson, who has the ball right now, number 3. The key players for this SMU team.
Well, Robertson's the scorer, and she is a pure shooter. Peterson is the workhorse in the middle. She does about everything you need.
Toyelle Wilson, 4th year in charge of the Mustangs. Couple of trips to the WNIT over the past few years. Royal McQueen goes glass. 7-0 Clemson run. On the other end, out of bounds. You got to look there at TK Pitts, number 2 for SMU. She dealt with a pregame injury we witnessed, but seems to be okay. Here's McQueen for Clemson.
Yeah, McQueen does a nice job of reading that double pick high, almost out of a horn set, and able to get to the rim after there's a switch out. That is such a big part of basketball, knowing how to guard and read off of screens.
Tigers working around Tessa Miller. Here's Hannah Cone. Clemson, one of the best three-point shooting teams in the ACC. This there.
And Cone, a terrific three-point shooter, hit one of those big shots against Georgia Tech in that upset a few days ago.
From the wing, Robertson. I mean, she is just on fire to start off this contest.
Yeah, if you're Nya Moore and you're guarding Robertson, you might need to make her put the ball on the floor somehow and then look for some help from your teammates. That's just too much room.
She's 3 for 3 from downtown in the opening minutes of this contest. Trying to answer was Cone.
Yeah, great rebound there. There you see Peterson tracking the ball. She does a terrific job, I think, of knowing where that ball is going to come off the rim.
Robertson, the first miss for her from behind the three-point line.
I never got to take shots like that as he checks.
Well, you dominated down low. You didn't have to worry about that. McQueen with the miss.
She is fun, like Robertson right now with the ball in her hands. She is looking to attack all the time.
And draws a foul. Timeout, scoring machine all year and so far today as well.
Such an important part of this team that has moved to the ACC this year and needed a punch, I think, offensively.
Look at the hustle by Denavia Hall, who is in there for SMU. An SMU team that has been decimated by injuries, lost one of their best players, Shantae Embry, in January. And we mentioned it before the commercial break, Andrea. TK Pitts, number 2, their shutdown defender, tweaked her back in practice a few hours ago, but is toughing it out right now.
Yeah, she looked a little gimpy out there during warm-ups as well. I know she's trying to give it a go today. We look forward to seeing her on the floor a lot. Backs can be that way, a little hard to play with. And
Peterson double team. There is TK Pitts, gives it up. There is Hall from the corner with a miss. Clemson back the other way. Clemson trailed by about 8 in the opening minutes, but SMU now 1 for their last 7. Raven Thompson in the game for the Tigers, junior out of Atlanta. She drives to the bucket. Pitts standing right in front of her. Thompson kicked it out. Moore goes glass. No. The battle underneath, spinning around, getting the putback pull and drawing the foul.
one of the things Clemson will have to do today is battle in the paint. They are undersized. They usually play 4 guards. Sometimes they play 5 guards even, play that 5 out or 4 out. Poole, Miller, the 2 kind of true posts on the interior. That's what you need to see against a player like Peterson. There's
Pitts heading back to the locker room, or at least getting that wrapping around her waist, again dealing with an injured back. You talk about her team. This is an SMU team as she will get checked out. SMU is coming off 2 heartbreaking losses, 1 point in each loss, and they led in the final minute of play against Georgia Tech and Pitt. But unfortunately, Toya Wilson's squad could not come up with the win in either of those games.
And I think for SMU, Pitt was such an important game head-to-head. They're down there close to them in conference standings. They really needed that win. So now the urgency grows, right? Getting towards the end of the season, got 4 games left. What are you going to do with it?
Nya Moore dumps it for Poole a little too far. Yeah, SMU right now 1 game behind Pitt and Miami for the final spot to qualify for the ACC tournament. 15 teams get in. SMU on the outside looking in, but they still have time left in the season. As for Clemson, they're trying to work their way into Charlie Cream's bubble right now, making a run late in the season. They're currently at about 63 in the net rankings. But they have Already upset 2 ranked teams this year. 5 on the shot clock. Robertson waiting, moves to her left, fires it up, and banks it in.
Defense did everything right on that play, and Robertson just did a great job, I think, of pushing the ball to the rim, not leaving it short. Huge, huge shot. She is 4 for 5 from 3 here already.
She leads the nation in field goal attempts, now with more than 480. McQueen trying to answer, kicks it out to Moore.
Yeah, good defense by SMU. They are doing a great job of guarding these screens and recuperating. Peterson being in the paint and helping, and that's just a great shot.
The 5'8" senior out of Florence, South Carolina, who Dawn Staley saw in 7th grade. And Dawn Staley offered her a scholarship in 7th grade a decade ago.
Yeah, she is a terrific point guard, McQueen is. It's a great dump down into Peterson.
Great pass from Robertson, as you said, to Jessica Peterson.
Well, that's what happens when Robertson knocks down a couple of threes. You have to respect that and guard her on the perimeter, and leaves other people open.
McQueen, whose dad played at Wake Forest, was starting point guard there, Derek McQueen.
Wake Forest was here last night playing against the men for SMU, got a win.
This on the up and under by Nya Poole, the senior. Well, SMU playing with great urgency. We know this game has so much on the line as far as the conference standings. And with just about a minute to go in the quarter, Sean Poppy not looking thrilled with his team down 5.
Well, and SMU going back to that same play, putting the ball in the hands of Robertson almost at the point guard position and just running that pick and roll high. Until you prove that you can guard that, you run it over and over and over.
That'll be the 2nd foul of the day on Mia Moore, 2nd leading scorer on the Tigers.
Well, Nya Moore still coming back off of a little bit of an injury, just at about, what did Poppy say, about 75% health-wise today. It's so important for her to be on the floor for offense, but also for defense.
Wow, tremendous move, but couldn't get it to go. And then traveling after the rebound, less than a minute to go in the first. Yeah, look at the elevation by Robertson.
Yeah, just a bump there. And you know, when you're more slender, I used to have this problem when I would defend people that were small and slender. You can hit them when they're up in the air and they will go flying. It looks like that is what happened right there to Evans.
Nya Jones with the inbound. Hall being hassled by Raven Thompson. Tried to find Peterson and threw it away instead.
You know what, Hall has the size at 5'10" to handle the ball on the post right there. I'd love to see a post move instead of throwing the ball away right there. You got a great offensive rebounder, and Peterson just on the other side of the rim.
Well, Clemson right now just 1 for 3 from downtown. They came into the game averaging 7.5 per contest, having one of the greatest seasons in school history from 3-point distance. McQueen dishing, Summah Evans, and she does hit from outside.
That is Clemson basketball right there. That is what Poppy has been teaching. Penetrate, kick, find your shooters, execute, and then Evans knocks it down. They have so many shooters on this Clemson Tigers team.
Summah Evans, the senior out of Australia, right now about a 3-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Nya Jones over to Hall, gives it back to Jones. Marshall, talented offensive player, driving to the bucket. Turned it over, but it went out of bounds off a Clemson player with 6 on the clock, 2.9 on the shot clock.
SMU taking a little bit of extra time to set themselves for this play out of bounds.
Jones will inbound. Robertson is in the far corner. Peterson, a couple of defenders in her face, somehow found Jones, but the shot clock expired.
Not sure how she even saw that on the interior. That was a great pass. A little bit too late, though.
The heave off the glass and the rim of the first
quarter. Take care of the basketball and then just weather this storm on the road.
So again, the Tigers, as they feed it down low to Tessa Miller, gives it up to Kluse, still stays with Clemson. The Tigers in 10th place in the ACC right now. The top 9 teams get at least 1 bye. The top 4 teams get a double bye. So they are right out of a spot of getting by. A very important game for them today in Dallas as they even it up at 18.
And that's Summah Evans again. Again, a good execution on that baseline out of bounds.
Evans, the grad transfer from Mercer, wasn't an everyday starter until a few weeks ago. There's Nya Young. McQueen had a hand right in her face, and Jones still hit it.
Yeah, Jones is a really terrific point guard, and she played at Villanova, transferred into SMU, hasn't taken many shots here. I think that's her her third shot here today, but she is certainly capable of scoring. A selective shooting point guard.
Maddie Kluse, she has been on fire over the past few weeks. Misses there, but Clemson with the offensive board.
What makes her so difficult to guard is her ability to score inside and outside, and that's a moving screen right there on Tessa Miller.
So the offensive foul, but Maddie Kluse, this is a player who heading into this month didn't have a double-digit scoring game all year. Since the calendar turned to February, 4 straight double-digit games, shooting nearly 60%, and the three-point percentage has been at nearly 70% this month.
Yeah, one of those players that was a holdover that stayed when Poppy took the job this year, and I think she's just starting to figure things out. New system, new culture. It's paying off for her.
Jessica Peterson with Tessa Miller right in her face. McQueen gives it up. Hannah Cone drills it, and Clemson has the lead.
And that's the thing, Cone can shoot that 3 just like everybody on the floor right now. I always hated playing against those teams that everybody could shoot the 3. You're always in a game.
The Tigers came in having hit the 4th most three-pointers in program history. Nya Jones goes to her right, slides on the floor with McQueen in front of her. Can't get it to go.
Yeah, good job right there. Keeping the ball out of the hands of Robertson. Don't let her get touches and get some looks like that.
McQueen just weaving her way through the defense.
Yeah, she is fun to watch. Again, a lefty, 5'8". She can get to the paint. And so there are different ways you can get the paint touches, either through your post or with a player like her.
Jessica Peterson is looking for a cutting Marshall, but it'll be Clemson ball instead.
Yeah, good, another opportunity. And here we see Lightning McQueen going to her favorite side, to the left, and just able to finish.
She grew up in South Carolina, went to school at Georgia Tech, transferred to Alabama, and then went back to play for her home school. Clemson sure glad she did, averaging 13 points per game for Sean Poppy. And a travel on the Tigers.
Yeah, and 2 turnovers, really. Other than that transition point by McQueen in their sets, they've had 2 turnovers. Not something that Poppy wants to see. It's such an important part of what he does. They work so much on execution, especially offensively.
He turned around Chattanooga in a hurry last year, named Southern Conference Coach of the Year. The Mocs went 28-5, and then Clemson came calling.
And Evans guarding Robertson right now. Got a taller frame on her.
Driving his Pitts and turned it over, traveling for both squads.
Yeah, TK Pitts, she doesn't look like herself. You can see a little bit of grimacing on her face, standing a bit upright today. She's such an important part of the SMU program. She just gets better and better game by game. She's kind of the glue to their team.
A junior out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, their defensive stopper, not at 100%. Addie Porter now in the game, kicks it out to Kluse. Tessa Miller. Tough to find room in the middle with Peterson in the paint. And they tried to find Tessa Miller, and again, Jessica Peterson, that is just a major presence on both ends of the floor in the paint for SMU.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Peterson with her size, but also the help side defense right there, I think, by Jones. SMU's defense has been pretty good here, I think, in the early going, active, not giving anything easy away.
It's their offense that is trying to break a scoring drought of more than 2.5 minutes. Hits. There is Peterson working down low. The double team is on, and she throws it up wildly off the glass and in.
Yeah, it's so important for her to be able to play on the interior like that. And even double team, she's able to make a shot. Again, with Embry out with that knee problem. And here comes Pitts.
Back the other way off the turnover. TK Pitts.
Wow, turnovers are a problem. 8 turnovers here already in the first half for Clemson.
Back and forth first half here at Moody Coliseum. Maddie Klus. Summah Evans driving and dishing. Come from the corner. Back out, and Peterson with the board.
Yeah, Peterson just tracks down those boards on an ongoing basis. She knows all the time where that ball is going, how it will come off the rim.
Pretty jumper from Nya Jones, the senior. Jones dropped 20 points on Notre Dame and Stanford earlier this year. Again,
a pass-first point guard, but able to score. And I think her coach would like to see her be in double digits almost every night.
Tessa Miller kicks it out to a wide-open Porter. Peterson with the board, but going to the floor was TK Pitts, who again already dealing with an injury.
It's good to see her getting up again. She has been effective when she's on the floor, and you do not want to see her on the sideline again, kind of tweaking her back and shoot around.
I mean, a few hours ago, we didn't think she was going to play. Yeah. She was bent over in a lot of pain during shoot-around, but sticking with it, a big part of this team offensively, averaging nearly 13 points per game, and certainly on the defensive end as well.
And this is what TK Pitts does. You see the last 5 games. It's almost like she is a late bloomer, and she gets better and better in spurts. In these last 5 games, she has been impressive.
Jones working on Porter. Nice move by Nya Jones. Couldn't finish. Doyle McQueen racing into the paint. This one bobbled, and the rebound collected by Sandra Magaliko in the game for the first time. Robertson with a miss. Wild pace here in the last few minutes. McQueen, Porter. Raven Thompson driving baseline. Ran out of real estate. Somehow the ball got back to McQueen. Shot clock under 10. Miller with a player on the floor turns it over. 3-on-3 back the other way, and now the offense will reset. Hall halfway down, back out.
After that quick start, it's been a little slow here in the second quarter.
Clemson hasn't scored in the last 4 minutes. Hannah Cohn over to Porter. Both teams shooting just over 40% so far on the day. Loyal McQueen, 5 on the shot clock. Addie Porter makes a move, throws it up, and 1! Addie Porter.
I'll tell you what, Addie Grace Porter, when the ball goes up, it makes her job more difficult.
Meanwhile, for the Tigers, Addie Porter, the senior transfer from Chattanooga, who came over with Sean Poppy, completes the 3-point play, and we are tied again. Summah Evans cheering on the troops from the sideline, getting a breather.
Now McQueen getting a chance to guard Robertson on the perimeter.
Lost her. The dish down low, and there's a whistle. Physical play as Raven Thompson went down. It was Sandra Magaliko on the drive, the senior for SMU.
Yeah, and I see the officials looking at each other. I didn't hear a double whistle, so I think they're just clarifying what the call was. They're going to call a block here defensively. Again, you have to give a player a chance to land if they're up in the air, so.
The second on Raven Thompson. SMU getting set. Clemson defensively. Klus It's been quiet so far offensively in this game, but can take off at any moment, as we've seen over the last month. That one nearly turned over. Hits. And she just doesn't look right now.
No, she does not look comfortable out there on the floor. And, you know, I don't know, for anybody out there that's had a back issue, you know how it feels. It's hard to make quick movements. You know, it's just difficult to make the movements you need to make on a basketball court. And
you can see it. She's walking gingerly at times out there.
Yep. And but she's just so important to be out there. And what a great matchup between she and Klus.
Nya McQueen, Porter wide open and hits it. Addie Porter at a timeout. Grabbed the three-point lead here on a little 6-0 run over the past 30 seconds. Peterson down low, and the up-close miss by Denavia Hall.
Yeah, and SMU has missed a couple of those easy bunnies down low. Again, without the ball in Robertson's hands, other people have to make those shots.
Look at the ball movement by the Tigers. Nya McQueen wide open, instead drives amongst the trees and hits it.
Why not give up that three for a little bit of a drive down the lane? Higher percentage shot.
And an 8-0 Tigers run. SMU hasn't scored in more than 3 minutes. Remember, they were on fire in that first quarter. Robertson driving, pulled just right in the way and took it away.
Yeah, again, good job right there defensively, making her put the ball on the floor.
Hannah Cone. And this charging in was Poole and got called for it. We've got 2 great women's games for you Thursday night right here on the
day as the top 16 teams in the nation.
What did you make of that? Any surprises to you on that list?
Not really, no. It's pretty clear, I think. Those are the best 16 teams in the nation. You could argue over who should be where, maybe as a 2 or 3 seed, but that's a great field. It's going to be an exciting tournament this year.
Great defense, meanwhile, by Poole on Peterson. Nya McQueen, one-on-one there with Jones guarding her. She is just racing around the floor. Maddie Klus.
Good recovery by SMU defensively. See if they can guard these last 5 seconds.
When in doubt, just give it to McQueen.
Yeah, how about that? Big baskets from the floor leader out there.
Nya McQueen up to 12 points, averages 13 per game. That one out of bounds. It'll stay with the Mustangs.
But again, look who's making the decisions out there. The ball not in the hands of Robertson very often. When it is, they make her put the ball on the floor. A much different second quarter from the first quarter.
From the corner, Marshall with the miss. They can't buy a bucket right now. The scoring drought is at nearly 5 minutes for SMU.
And this is much more favorable for Clemson. They like to keep the pace slower like this, executing quarter court.
Little shake and bake from McQueen, kicks it out to Cone, and that is a recipe for success.
Yeah.
I mean, Clemson clicking on all cylinders right now. 13-0 run. Robertson got Porter going and hits the bucket. That breaks the drought. And Clemson will hold for the final shot of the half. This has been a dominating quarter for the Tigers, doubling up SMU in points here in the second. McQueen. Marshall in front of her. McQueen gets a good look and hits it. What a half for Loyal McQueen. 14 points at the break, and it's a 10
quarter court.
Second half underway. Again, SMU trying to get into a qualifying spot for the ACC tournament. Right now, they're on the outside looking in as 15 teams make the postseason tournament. SMU not among the top 15, but trying to get there. As for Clemson, currently 10th in the ACC standings. If they can jump up to 9th, they'll get a first-round bye in the tourney and a whistle down low.
Both of these teams want to finish strong for a variety of reasons. For Clemson, they want to run the table. Now, we know that they haven't been good on the road this year. So the win against Georgia Tech, playing well here today. bodes well for them because 3 of their next 4 games to end the season are on the road. So if they want to run the table, they'll have to do it on the road. And for SMU, they've got a tough road to go. You know, when you only have a couple of wins, trying to dig yourself out of a hole that you've dug already. Tough going in the ACC.
Some nail biters over the last few weeks for SMU. 2 one-point losses after leading in the final minute. Kasia Woods goes 2 for 2 at the stripe.
Well, Woods has been a bright spot here today in today's game. If you look at plus minuses and a steal by Pitts.
Pitts, the defensive specialist, kicks it out to Woods. Can't hit from outside. Peterson was battling for it. There's another foul in the paint.
Yeah, and I was going to say, if you look at Peterson, if you look at Woods, you look at Pitts, some of the things they're doing out there. I mean, Pitts is playing through pain, you can tell, and gets that terrific steal.
Foul on Cone, her first. Jones to Peterson. A little quiet in the first half. In the corner and stepping out of bounds was Nya Robertson.
Yeah, again, look who's guarding her. Summah Evans doing a terrific job of putting a lot of pressure on Robertson and making her catch out of her comfort zone.
And there is a lot of pressure on her and Peterson. If the scoring, the offense doesn't come from those two, SMU has struggled to find other options. The lob down low, somehow collected by Evans and drops it in.
Evans has earned her playing time as of late with plays like that.
Former Southern Conference Defensive Player of the Year with Mercer. Get the job done offensively. Robertson driving around everybody and rejected by Evans. Here she is from downtown, Summah Evans. I was going to say, about to take the roof off the building if she hit that. One of 10 newcomers on this team. That's tied for the 2nd most newcomers in the nation. Offensive board, Clemson.
There's just an energy about this Clemson team today, and shoot around during the game as well. We see it.
We lost the handle, but it went right to Moore. Back to Loyal. Shot clock at 5. Nya Moore. Lengths went off the rim. There's the board for Peterson. She's got 6 rebounds now. She averages a double-double per game. Jones in trouble, drops it off for Woods.
Clemson has played man pretty much this entire game. Coach talked about mixing it up a little bit. You must like his man-to-man defense.
Robertson step back 3. And again, if the offense isn't coming from her, they're having problems. They've had some long scoring droughts in this game, including one of nearly 5 minutes. Nya Moore on the other end.
Yeah, pretty look, and a good job by Loyal McQueen to push tempo right there with SMU not getting back on defense.
This Clemson team, if they can stay healthy down the stretch, look out.
Well, and also, you know, with the adjustments they can make. And watch right here as you see the backdoor offensively by Evans with this finish. And then if you watch her, she's face guarding Robertson, and she comes in after Robertson finally gets the ball and is able to contest and block a shot. That's that 6-foot frame against 5'7". Really makes a difference, and she has been active.
SMU scoreless in their last 2.5. Peterson with the up-close miss, rips down the rebound. Jump ball, possession, arrow, Clemson.
Another good possession defensively by Clemson right there. Just out-toughing SMU in the paint right now.
You could see the frustration there on the face of Peterson. SMU's offense shooting 35%, Clemson 52%.
And if you watched in the first quarter, that first quarter, these teams were right at 50%, both of them, and has to be frustrating for SMU not to be able to put the ball in the basket.
Another offensive rebound for the Tigers.
I'm just watching Poppy on
I'm
the
seeing you
sideline.
laughing over there. What are you chuckling about?
He's living every moment of this game right now. Poppy is on the sideline, and he got off the ground.
He said he was born and raised in Illinois, but technically he, quote-unquote, grew up, found himself in South Carolina, played D2 basketball in the state of South Carolina, is now back coaching in his home state.
Oh, and he's got the buy-in of his players right now. You talked about 10 new players, 4 remain. A couple of them get playing time here that were at Clemson last year. But it takes a while for buy-in, and he has gotten that because he has invested in these players. You can see how much he does. 10-9, but you know, this is just such a critical game for both of these. You want to be playing for something it's really tough to be at the bottom like SMU is right now. Clemson has that momentum. Again, getting over the hump with that Georgia Tech game was so important, and SMU has been in so many games. They have lost 5 games, right? The last 5 games by under 5 points apiece.
Miller with the and one. And when you talk about Clemson, we're not just talking about the conference tournament. They're trying to get into the NCAA tournament. Remember, they're 1 spot behind Virginia Tech in the standings as you get another look at this Miller bucket and one.
And these are the plays that teams make.
So, yeah, Clemson right behind Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is one of the last 4 in, according to Charlie Cream. If Clemson can go on a run, they play Virginia Tech in a few games. Who knows? Maybe they could be one of the last 4 in.
And that's what you're hoping for, is just to give yourselves a shot to be part of the conversation. But you've got to go get wins. Nobody's going to give you anything in this conference.
They'll have a tough one coming up soon at Louisville, who's caught fire recently under Jeff Walls. Clemson still with a healthy lead here with 6 minutes to go in the third. Maddie Kloos, good look, and hits.
Yeah, just an easy read right there. As they come down the floor, I want you to keep your eye on number 7 in purple, though, and watch how she is face guarding Robertson. You can watch the ball, but Robertson is not going to get an easy touch. And right now, Clemson really making the other 4 players for SMU beat them. Again, in the corner down here, low on the screen.
Peterson just had nowhere to go in the paint, stepped out for the screen. That one missed badly by Jones.
And that has been the strategy since the second quarter. Summah Evans has done a really nice job of keeping the ball out of the hands of Robertson.
Maddie Kloos can hit that. A little too strong. Another offensive rebound by the Tigers. They are out-rebounding SMU today, 30-14.
And that's 7 offensive rebounds here just in this quarter.
McQueen trying to find some room, and she will head to the line.
And also for cancer survivors in support of beating cancer, for caretakers of those helping with patients that are cancer patients.
And SMU wearing the white jerseys with pink lettering in honor of Play for Kay Day.
She was such a great motivator. That was the one thing I know about Kay Yao. And she learned basketball basically from a book. Didn't really play that much, coached her sister.
That is incredible.
Yeah, it is really incredible. But she was a tremendous motivator and speaker. Loved playing for her.
I'm proud of everything this has absolutely held her at bay over the last 2 quarters now. She had 12 points in the first quarter, 2 since then. Peterson going to work and gets it.
And sometimes you just take a player out who's being face guarded because it's more comfortable for the other players to be able to play 5-on-5. You get Robertson a chance, as you see, almost what was a turnover right there. But you give your players a chance to play more traditionally by putting...
And you have a player scoring 50% of your points. The pressure is immense on Nya Robertson.
Well, she gets a chance to watch the game, too. And if you're going to try to forge a comeback here in this game, you're going to need her to come in and be able to be really productive.
And once again, following a miss, Clemson retains possession. That's been a huge storyline. The offensive rebounds, they continue to fight. 12 offensive rebounds compared to just 4 for SMU.
And 8 in the second half, which is just this quarter.
And there's another.
Yeah, 9 offensive rebounds here in quarter number 3, and we aren't done yet.
Kloos probing the defense. Here is Moore. Oh, great move, and had Woods going the wrong way.
Yeah, really nice job. Moore is so quick, really, really terrific with her 3-point shot. Be nice to get her going and feeling good on the floor again, coming back from injury.
Off the turnover, Moore 2-on-2. Here comes Miller trailing, and Moore will reset the offense. Porter thought about it.
Well, look how much Clemson spreads you out defensively, and that's why they're able to get so many offensive rebounds. So hard to box somebody out outside of the lane.
Cohn finds Miller cutting to the basket, and she was fouled by Kylie Marshall.
How about Nya Moore here? Stopping on a dime and able to put it up. I mean, that's a tough thing to do when you're going really quickly, to be able to maintain control. You gotta love that when your guards rebound the basketball for you, but necessary really for Clemson.
Want to remind you, Saturday right here on the ACC Network, it's men's basketball triple header starting at 2 Eastern with Georgia Tech and Boston College. After that, it's number 23 Clemson right here in Dallas to take on SMU. And finally, for the nightcap, Virginia Tech and the U at 6 Eastern. Miller makes it a 53-34 lead as Clemson continues to pull away. Drive into the rack. Hall with the bucket. SMU desperately needed. They got to go on a run.
And I like the fact that they're picking up full court a little bit here, trying to maybe create an easy turnover for an easy basket. Robertson back in the game.
They've been outscored by 20 points over the last 2 quarters. They turn it over.
An offensive foul right there by Miller. Illegal screen. We've seen that in the first half as well. Clemson loves to run that high screen on the ball in the middle of the floor, and you just got to stay set, not move until the player gets by you.
Clemson so far is at 5 threes in this one. Now the 3rd most all-time in program history at 193 on the season. Marshall feeding it down low, and being hassled was Magaliko.
Yeah, travel called right there on Magaliko. It's just so tough when right now Clemson's swarming in the paint every time the ball goes in there. Has a lot of confidence defensively to take some chances.
And SMU getting a bucket here or there, but they just can't get on a roll, can't get on a run to get back into this game right now.
I think it starts with defense. You need to make a play, and if a team is getting a lot of offensive rebounds, you know, part of defense is boxing out, getting that rebound, finishing off the defense.
Poole in the paint, Magaliko in front of her, altered that shot. Less than 2 to play in the 3rd. Marshall with a miss.
Don't mind that shot by Marshall. She is certainly capable of shooting. You mentioned before that she's a terrific shooter.
And a whistle on SMU. Yeah, Kylie Marshall for SMU, number 22. She was the #1 ranked player in the state of Texas coming out of high school a couple of years ago. 4-star recruit. Scored 18 against Missouri earlier this year. The offense isn't the question for her.
Yeah, I spent a minute at Texas A&M, transferred out of there, came in here, and I think it does come down to what are you doing at the defensive end, and it's all the details of what it entails to play at this level, really. Gotta love her body. She almost has a pro body out there when it comes to what she looks like on the floor.
5'11" sophomore out of Mansfield, Texas, as Cohn makes the 2nd. Two players in double-figure scoring for Clemson. McQueen with 16, Evans with 10. Just one for SMU, Robertson, who gives it up. Magaliko in trouble there. And just stealing it away was Nya Poole, the senior.
Yeah, Magaliko just making things a little bit too difficult. Probably should have just gone up with the ball after that pass.
Magaliko, a lot of size, but very raw. In the post there for SMU. Poole looking for Porter, goes back the other way. Here is Cohn. Raven Thompson, shot clock at 3. Cohn looks up, fires it. And another offensive board. Thompson hacked. She will go to the line.
And look at the bench over there for Clemson. They are into it. A terrific job. 10th offensive rebound of this quarter for Clemson. How about Raven Thompson? Started some games this year, comes off the bench at 5'10", can play a little bit inside, a little bit outside. She takes it strong to the hoop.
Another player who came over from Chattanooga along with the head coach Sean Poppy. She was the Southern Conference Freshman of the Year 2 seasons ago.
And she's one of those players, I think, for Poppy that's so critical because she knows his culture, she knows his system. She can come in, and I think probably early on got a lot of starts because she did know his system and was able to execute what he wanted. I love players like her.
Well, you could see some frustration there. That really symbolized this game. Peterson had the rebound ripped away from her by a teammate. Just some miscommunication throughout this game.
Yeah, you can tell by the way players communicate, their body language on the floor. With SMU right now, that is just, it hasn't been good the last quarter and a half.
The possession arrow will stay with Clemson. Substitutions being made with SMU rather, as Cone comes out of the game, the sophomore from Florida. Robertson to inbound off a Clemson player. Nya Robertson averaging 19 points per game, 3 on the shot clock.
Yeah,
just badly on that one.
Just got to recognize how much time's on the shot clock in that situation. It seemed like an afterthought for SMU.
Now 5 of 14 from the field. The rebounding for the Tigers, 36 boards and counting today. McQueen with moves for days, but it's Peterson with the defensive rebound. Marshall 2-on-1, fires it up, and unable to get it to go before the buzzer rings here at Moody Coliseum.
Stand down there and look pretty, right?
She's up to 8 points and 7 rebounds so far today, but her team facing a major deficit as we begin the fourth, and that deficit gets even bigger after the Raven Thompson bucket.
And that's where Thompson's dangerous, 5'10", able to score in the paint, and if you are SMU, you need some stops. Get some stops, get some easy baskets, and that's just not happening.
There is Peterson. Poole has been bothering her all day long in the paint. Driving and drawing the foul was Kayana Cox coming off the bench for the Mustangs. But let's get back to Anya Poole, the 6'2" senior, number 31 for Clemson. She has stuck right with Peterson all day.
Well, Poole was a starter for quite some time. She's been in and out now. Confidence up. I think sometimes with players, you're learning a new system, you're trying new things, you're trying to figure things out, and it's hard to keep your confidence up if it doesn't go well.
She gets the board there after the miss by Cox. Poole transferred over from North Carolina, and she's been top 10 in the ACC in blocks all season long.
Well, you see that great length, and a lot of that is length, but some of it is just timing.
McQueen still got it. And she just never runs out of gas. And lightning quick all game long. Hall left wide open. And Poole was fouled by Peterson.
We're going back to Lightning McQueen.
There you go.
Yeah, race car, getting down the lane. That is what she does best, and you just see her creativity. It's so tough to guard a lefty when she's going right because she can use both hands. She has that quick first step, those long strides. Love her attitude, too. She just is really willing to lead her team, become a more vocal leader out there, which is what Poppy's been asking her to do. Certainly she can lead by example.
She's got 18 points and 7 assists. And again, when Dawn Staley offers you a scholarship in middle school, that's saying something. There's got to be some talent there. Less than 9 to play. Summah Evans with a miss. Another offensive rebound.
And by the smallest player on the court. Again, 5'4", Porter is.
Is that just all effort and tenacity? What is the key to offensive rebounding?
Well, yeah, it can be. But a part of this is just that Clemson spreads you out with 2 on the shot clock. That's a turnover. It is so hard to box out when you're so spread out defensively.
Jones with the pull-up miss.
Not a bad shot, just didn't go in. And no rebounders.
That's been the story. They've had some good looks today, but just 16 of 45 now from the field.
And I think the frustration has got the better of SMU today. Thompson
loses the handle. Jones pushing the pace. Pitts driving right into Summah Evans. Offensive foul.
Again, you see Pitts just not looking comfortable out there. That is not characteristic of something that TK Pitts would do. She is usually much more agile than this, able to kind of get around defenders, and she, with that little back tweak that she had in shoot around today, just not able to make those quick moves, and she will take a seat on the bench for a moment.
4 fouls. You could see her walking gingerly, dealt with the pregame back injury. She has tried to tough it out today.
I think that's a big reason why SMU is struggling right now too, is TK Pitts, heart and soul of the team. She is the glue out there, usually able to make plays when you need them, and she just hasn't been able to be herself.
McQueen, Evans. I mean, she's just done everything you could ask for today. Evans up to 12, but she's rebounded as well, played tremendous defense, took the charge a minute ago.
Well, if you look at Poppy's lineup out there, he plays about 8 kids, and those players, whether they start or not, they come in and they're starting to be productive on an ongoing basis.
Spinning is Cox and getting the and one. Kiana Cox.
This is the time in a game where you're getting opportunities. Cox, who doesn't get very many opportunities as a freshman, has come out and made a couple of key plays for SMU. You're down due to injuries. You have Pitts that isn't feeling at her best. You get some minutes, you make the most of it.
She had 6 points all season long coming into today. 6 points total. And now we'll be at 4 for the contest. McQueen swerving around the defender. Now we'll dribble off some clock.
Look at how spread out Clemson is, and nobody in the lane. That's what we talk about with them playing 4 guards out with a post on the interior, and the post isn't even inside, so now boxing out becomes difficult. That
one absolutely rejected by Magaliko. Cox kicks it out. Woods from outside. There was an offensive rebound by 5'5" Nya Jones. Cox driving baseline, no.
I like that aggressiveness by Cox.
Here comes Loyal. McQueen and one. Just unstoppable.
She is just so convincing when she takes the ball to the hoop.
Well, with that, let's take a look at our star stories for players that have been crushing it as of late. Brought to you by Crush. It is the one at the free throw line. Loyal McQueen along with Summah Evans. The duo has combined for 32, making 33 points on the day.
And they have just been so ready to play today. That's what you're looking for. They are crushing it, I think, when it comes to preparation, when it comes to execution out there.
And for Loyal McQueen, this is her 4th 20-point game of the year and a 25-point lead for the Tigers. And the win they're coming off of, the upset of Georgia Tech, the score was single digits, but they absolutely dominated for most of that game. Marshall's got to hurry. Shot clock at 1, heaves it up. Violation.
Again, Poppy seeing great things from his players.
Clemson has shot nearly 50% from the field. And out rebounding SMU 42-20. Here's Cone. Another offensive board.
You get a butt in a gut. Get people outside the lane. I know you, not something you would say, something we would say on the basketball
court. I have the
court.
ladder. Thompson in the corner.
Come on.
Another offensive board and put back by Raven.
That is 17 offensive rebounds by the Tigers here today. They have just been insistent on the offensive boards.
And that has to be so demoralizing for SMU because Clemson is now imposing their will.
Well, and you start looking around at your teammates, I think, if you're SMU, and going, who's not boxing out and blaming your people? But there's another great shot by Cox, who's been a bright spot.
6 points today to match her total from the entire year. of 6. Summah Evans, 12 points. A strong performance from the senior, and a whistle. Taking time anymore. The first quarter was close.
The first quarter was great. I mean, 4 for 7 from 3 for SMU. All 4 of those threes coming from Robertson, but she hasn't hit one since and has been very, very quiet ever since. She's been on the bench now for a while. In the game for Clemson, Maddie Ott, number 30.
Oh, the Frisco native. Family and friends here wanted it.
They are sitting right behind us, and when they saw her come on the floor, there was a huge ovation.
See if they give her another opportunity. Drills it! Everybody's hitting.
Well, Maddie Ott is one of those players. She is a player that puts the work in every single day, doesn't get much playing time, but the ultimate teammate is what Poppy calls her.
Grew up just up the road in Frisco. Answering is Jones for SMU. And they're one spot ahead of this Clemson team in the ACC standings, and they'll meet up to finish the regular season. What a matchup that will be.
Barely gets the ball across the timeline there.
Clemson has outscored SMU in the second half by 16 points. The miss by Evans. You could see the playbook for Clemson's defense coming in. Focus on Robertson, make the rest of the team beat you. And that game plan has worked out.
Yeah, they didn't execute well on it, I don't think, in the first quarter. But after that, these last 3 quarters have been terrific. And obviously with Robertson on the bench, that makes it easier.
Peterson muscling her way in the paint.
Yeah, now you saw Peterson just show frustration after that shot. She wanted a foul. It's been a frustrating day for her. That's a young lady that has high expectations when you talk about Jessica Peterson.
Peterson and Robertson, we've been talking about their stats. They don't care about the stats. They want to win. The losing has killed them, especially the close losses as of late. Evans driving, hacked. And a stoppage in play.
It was funny today when Peterson had on the glasses and we were shooting the shots of her tracking the basketball. Robertson comes by and she's like, "What? Are we playing a game tonight? Aren't we trying to win?" And I laughed because that's exactly something that I would say. I mean, that shows the competitiveness of, hey, we're not messing around out here. Why are we doing this shot for TV? Which we thank you, Peterson, and we also thank SMU for allowing us to do that. But that's that competitive edge, just that it factor that you need. It's just been a bad day or bad second, third, and fourth quarter for Peterson or for Robertson. And
it absolutely is nice to hear that out of a great scorer like Robertson, that it's not all about the scoring. Far from it. She absolutely cannot stand losing, and disappointed with today's performance. Jones. Peterson and Miller were battling down in the paint. Things got a little too physical on Peterson's end.
Oh, Peterson's not afraid to be a bit chippy down there. She's willing to be pushed around and push just back along with anybody. And this quintet out there right now for SMU, I like how they've been playing together. Cox is taking advantage of her opportunities.
Marshall. Porter. Getting a little breathing room here with 2 to play in the contest. Clemson looking to even up their record on the year at 13-13.
And they will get 2 wins on the road, much needed wins, getting over the hump, as Poppy says it is.
They've looked really good over the last 2 games. I mean, it's playing some of their best ball, if not their best basketball of the season over their last 8 quarters now.
Yeah, absolutely their best basketball. Part of that just is improvement individually of everybody. You look at a player like Tessa Miller, whose numbers aren't big tonight, but they were against Georgia Tech. Just overall, everyone individually giving a bit more.
Want to remind you the women's lacrosse season is underway, and this is our first ACC network game. Number 9 Virginia taking on 15th ranked Stanford in Charlottesville on Saturday. Coverage begins noon Eastern right here on the ACC network. For SMU, they will end up dropping their 10th straight. They're falling to 10 and 16 overall on the season. They have shown flashes this year, but ultimately coming up short today.
It has been a tough go, I think, for SMU this year. Moving into the ACC, they're going to have a little timeout here for a substitution timeout. Morgan Miller will get into the game for Clemson, but I think for SMU, you look at the chance to get now into one of the Big Four conferences, and they had a really, really good win early against Stanford at home, and it looked really promising. And then it's just been such tough going since then.
It's snowballed, certainly. It's been tough to bounce back from. As the final minute of play coming up from Moody Coliseum. The stars for Clemson today: Loyal McQueen, 21 points. Summah Evans with 14.
And they have just looked confident all day long. See a turnover there by Ott.
Cox missing off glass.
But she sticks with it, so Ott follows the play, doesn't give up on it, gets a rebound.
We'll see what Charlie Cream has to say about where Clemson stands. They're trying to get on that bubble. They're getting close.
I think they're just trying to be part of the conversation, and that is not happening, as I mentioned earlier.
Ott with the miss. Final 25 seconds on the way, but Clemson on a roll when it counts at the most important time of the season. Will walk out of this arena with a victory and a very impressive performance, especially over the last 3 quarters.
Well, I think great leadership from Loyal McQueen out there at the point guard position for Clemson. Terrific adjustments in defense for Clemson after that first quarter, where Robertson was able to really get going and knock down multiple threes. And then how about the offensive rebounds? Let's just talk about that for today. 18 offensive rebounds, 48 total rebounds.
Just dominating on the boards, dominating from the field as well as far as shooting. A complete team effort. Marshall with the miss, and that'll do it here from Dallas. Clemson is a winner, 72-46, improving to 13-13.